Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Wherever you are in the world, I hope this finds you well. Today I'm in Puerto Rico on vacation, and so I'm thankful to be enjoying some sun. It's very cold back in New York where I'm from. So it's nice to be away and escaping that wind chill right now, and I hope anyone who's there is staying warm, or anywhere cold. Hope you're staying warm and dry. So I want to do a market update, and first we're going to look at the stock market, and then we're going to look at Bitcoin, and then Kaspa. So we're going to follow the liquidity flow. We're going to look at the S&P 500 first. So the update to me on the stock market, on the S&P 500, and it's important to watch the stock market just for the liquidity flow. Money flows from highly capitalized markets to less capitalized, being crypto, being less capitalized than the stock market. And so it's important to look at this even if you're not in the US. So anyway, so we have some moving averages pulled up here, and I believe I posted this chart on Twitter a while ago, but it's interesting. It's important to look at. You can see very clearly these tests all the way up, and oftentimes they lead to pretty big rallies if you look back over the history. This was obviously the .com bubble. This was the housing market bubble. So we had some events that allowed the price of the S&P 500 index to kind of drop below, as you can see here. But otherwise, these levels tend to be pretty strong support. So I actually just put it on the monthly so we can zoom out a little further. As you can see, still here, right? And we did get a dip down right here. We did get a dip down. When was this? This was 2020. This was the pandemic crash. So that pulled us down. And it's one of those things where these averages just kind of help you assess the risk, and they give you an idea of how much risk you're taking on by getting exposure to the market. By the way, it's morning here in Puerto Rico, and there's some roosters crowing. You may or may not hear them in the background. So let's see. So these moving averages, as you can see, look at, this is going back quite a long time. This was the 1940s and 50s. And then, we dip below here. Again, hold them, dip below. So as some people have fear at this point. Just important to note that we did come down, and we did test it, and we came up, and we even had this cup and handle, right, in which I've been following and posting about a bit on Twitter. And if we continue to the upside, we can look at some of these targets here. I mean, we'll see if we get there. As of now, S&P 500 this past week just finally broke above the previous all-time high. So it set a new all-time high. So that's important. And the reason why I show this is because liquidity will flow from stocks potentially to crypto, because when people make money, they will diversify some of the profits potentially into more risky bets that have more upside potential. So, Bitcoin could be one of those compared to some of the top stocks. So if we look at crypto, look at Bitcoin, By the way, I'm also not on the microphone I usually use at home, so the sound quality is going to be a little worse right now. But anyway, yeah, the Fibonacci retracement level that Bitcoin got to recently, and I actually don't have it drawn how it should be, but it should be like this. We got up to the 618, and we did the same thing last bear market rally. We came up and we crashed, and this was a 2020 crash, the COVID pandemic here, which brought us way back down. And a lot of people were, timing-wise, thinking that we were coming back down, doing something like this, right in here. And I said, I don't know about that. It kind of looks like we're just kind of oscillating in here. At the same time, we never got up to the 618, and we finally got up to the 618. So what's interesting about that is that that was a level that I, even as far back as 2020, before price had come down to 15,500, I had, foreseen potentially a dump to the 200-week moving average, which you can see we did come down to the 200-week, and then we came down, I think this is maybe even the 350-week or something. So we came down, and then we came right back up to the 618, just like we did last time, which makes it very interesting here because let's see. Here, this is where I spelled it out a little better. Bitcoin, as you can see, rejected here, and we're currently at the same level. So high risk moment. Doesn't mean we need to come back down because maybe it's super obvious. It looks obvious to me. Maybe we actually just hold this and we pump up. Maybe we never get this yellow box. It's hard to say. So you got to have a strategy and just look at it for what it is. So anyway, Kaspa is going sideways. We were following these fractals for quite a long time. And very interesting. And you might look like it's lagging or it's not performing as well, but what's really important to notice is that Cardano and Ethereum, when they were here last cycle, Bitcoin was above 40 grand, maybe even, between 40 and 50 grand. It was putting in new all-time highs. And this is where Cardano and Ethereum were. Kaspa is at the same level, and you can actually compare the price because Kaspa has a similar supply as Cardano, and so the market cap is going to be similar for Cardano, however you say it, as Kaspa is here, because the supply is similar. So it is interesting to know. It may look like it's lagging, but you have to consider where Bitcoin is at this point in time in this cycle compared to where it was last time. Kaspa's already at this level, and it's interesting because Bitcoin is not at new all-time highs. It's still at the 618 retracement level. It has not set new all-time highs. It hasn't broken out. So this is actually interesting, and you could even argue that it is ahead of schedule, and it is outperforming in the previous cycle, because if you come back to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is, like for example, this is pretty much where Bitcoin was when Cardano was at the level that Kaspa is right now. This is pretty much the area. It was basically putting in its peak. It was actually, it was above 40, somewhere in here. So it's important to consider that when you look at these fractal charts. And Kaspa, you could say it is ahead of schedule. So that's interesting. That's interesting. And then looking at this ascending channel, it has fallen out of the ascending channel, and it has done that before. So that's something to note. And you know, you don't make money in the markets unless you're willing to take on risk, and people might be a little fearful about that right here. So just like down here, how many people were actually buying here? They probably thought it was gonna, a lot of people probably thought it was gonna come here and get rejected. But instead it came up, took a little bounce, came back up and went even higher, and it still hasn't even come back down to this level, which is 5 cents, which you have to consider the market cap that it would be at this level, and then look at the fundamentals and the value and say to yourself, can it actually go back down, or is there enough demand to keep the market cap at a certain valuation? And to me, it's probably one of the most game-changing technological advances. Like, it's a legit technology, like Bitcoin was when it came out, you know, running at 10 blocks per second, just a decentralized, stateless currency that is just super lightning fast, like Visa level, and you can just send peer-to-peer and eventually smart contracts and stablecoins. So it's pretty revolutionary, and to me it's worth a lot more than it is right now in terms of the market cap. So that's important to note. So, and then also you can look at the time from the peak to the trough, and this one was like 50 days and it hit a bottom. On some exchanges during that flash crash we had, Kaspa got down actually to the 20 and 21 weeks. And that took about, let's see, it took 45 days. So slightly early compared to the last pullback from the last big one, from 4 cents down to 1 cent. So it's similar. It's a similar pullback timing wise, and it hasn't really started pumping super hard yet. But if you look at this second retest here, this was 65 days. We're currently at 62 days. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth. Kind of interesting. And it depends where you draw the Fibonacci for the next upside target, and then you have this ascending channel. So there's a few things going on. So we'll see what happens. And you know, these price points would be, you know, you start getting to $3 and $4. This is now Cardano sized market cap, which I don't expect until Bitcoin's peaking, you know, so at new all-time highs. So I personally believe that the fundamentals justify that sort of valuation. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully it gets there for all of us who are bullish on Kaspa and holding. I just hold spot. I only do leverage with very small stuff, basically money that I'm willing to lose, and so I don't gamble my money. I prefer to hold spot and just relax and let the market do its thing, and be patient with a long time horizon. So that's my personal strategy. And so I think that's going to wrap it up. We covered the stock market, S&P 500, Bitcoin, and Kaspa. And if anyone wants to see anything else, you can always suggest other ideas of things you'd like to see or have me look at in the comments. And otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are having a good day, staying warm wherever you are, if you're somewhere northern latitude, and take care.